morning, everybody. Nikki Burnett here, Taste Life Nutrition. This is Taste Life Nutrition Radio, streaming live on KUHSdenver.com, the most amazing station in the country, in the world, actually. Taste Life Nutrition Radio, what are we about? We are about bringing really great things to you to help you learn, to help you understand, to bring you truth in, oops, I need to, see, always messing stuff up, gotta turn it down, oops. Bring you truth in healthcare, and truth in what is good and what is out there. You know, we often believe that it's the only thing that we need to do is go to our doctor. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but there is a lot of stuff out there. There are a lot of amazing people, amazing companies, amazing products out there that are rocking it and doing really great things, and I want everybody to know about it. So today is super exciting, and it touches home for me a little bit. As a lot of you know, I recently lost my mom to cancer. I lost my father-in-law to cancer, my uncle, you know, my dogs. It's just rampant and it's disgusting, and I hate it so much. And I just feel, as many of you do, surrounded by it. But there are people who are working hard to make life for those patients a little bit better, or maybe a lot better. So we have with us Butch Hunter and Sherry Hess of Marivation, but the product is Onco Bites.
That's correct.
Yes? So this is chemo. So I want to just give a little bit of taste of this because I need you to stick around and have some fun with this. This is going to be an amazing conversation. We are letting it all out there. We're going to give a lot of really big truths that maybe you don't hear anywhere else. So stick with us and enjoy it. So, but first off, as always, we start with gratitude. It's the thing that I believe we need to work on as a world, because we are in a place where it can change the world if we're all putting out the things that we're so blessed to have and to have in our lives. And so, as always, we start with you two, or each one of you, either one, you choose. What are you grateful for today? Go ahead.
Go ahead. That's a good question, because I really have so many things that I'm grateful for and I'm blessed with. You know, my family, I'm so very blessed with my family and just all the support that I've had. But I will say, you know, I feel very grateful. I'm not limited by, you know, being told how and where and when to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, I get the opportunity to go and build this company and listen to my people that I work with and my customers, and be able to bring that back and hopefully put it back into the product. Mm-hmm. And help people with my idea or my connections with people that have or know or a lot smarter than I am, to be able to just bring everything together and be able to put a product out like this. I mean, just being able to chase that dream, I'm very grateful for that, because as we see on the news, not everybody has that opportunity, you know, to do, and the freedoms.
Well, and let's pray that we continue to
100%.
be able to do so.
Absolutely, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Gratitude is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? And it really creates such shifts.
Yeah.
You know, I could go in so many directions, echoing, you know, everything that Butch talks about, of family and support and opportunity. And you know, I think another thing that I really want to pull into this moment of gratitude is transparency that's starting to show up, right, in the world of nutrition.
Yes.
And people are starting to get more curious and more inquisitive about what is truly supporting their bodies. And I feel like it's a really good time. It's a really good time to where science is meeting, you know, nature, and really giving us a much clearer picture of what it means to support our immune system, to support our bodies through health. And grateful for the opportunity. And
yes, absolutely. Yes, we're very,
really huge.
very humbled and thoughtful and thankful for this opportunity.
Oh,
I mean, this is what we need. We need the opportunity. We've been working so hard on this product over the, you know, I mentioned I've been doing this for 10 years, and we've had the company actually in existence since 2019, but we've built all the inroads. We have a proof of concept now. We know it works. We know our model works. We know our product works, and the patients are benefiting from it. So being able to have the opportunity to come on and talk with you in a, you know, an environment like this, where a lot, you know, I don't know how many people's going to hear this morning.
At least 140,000.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Hopefully we get our message across, because we're very thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, I love this. And the unintentional beauty of this show is, to date, every single person I have had on is an entrepreneur.
Wow.
And so that's not really how I intended it to be, but as an entrepreneur, I surround myself with amazing people very intentionally, and they just mostly happen to be entrepreneurs.
Yep.
Well, you're looking for the outside of the box thinker, right? You're looking for those people that are looking at things from a different angle. And that's, you know, I mean, it's a beautiful thing when you look at what Onco is doing and how we've used all this patient feedback to create a very unique and very niched, you know, product that's supportive of what they exactly are going through. So
when she was 13, 14, 15 years old, she stayed in Children's Hospital with gastroparesis. And I've worked in the oncology marketplace, mainly on the manufacturing with the biotech companies. I've worked with, you know, the big distributors, AmerisourceBergen, Cardinal, companies such as those. And I walked into our room one day at Children's Hospital, and they were putting a feeding tube in. And I said, well, there's got to be something out there that would give her a large amount of high quality, dense calories.
High quality is key.
Yes, in a very small, easy to eat bite.
Yeah.
And when I got to looking, there was nothing out there. So that's where, you know, there was nothing out there, but then I got to thinking back too, as I walked through the cancer centers every day doing my normal corporate job, that I was walking by patients that were dealing with the exact same things as they were undergoing chemotherapy.
Yeah.
And it just came full circle to, you know, having an idea of how you can help someone and turning it into something that can help the masses and really help these people that are struggling, that nobody's really ever focused or honed in on an option for them.
Right.
Like Ensure, Boost, the oral supplements. They were created for other markets, other niches.
They're created to damage other people. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, well, but
we'll let you do that.
you know, they just happen to fall into the spot for a nutritional product somewhere for some patient to get a calorie. You know, some spot. And when we really started looking at how to create this product, we saw that there was absolutely nothing. You know, in the cancer centers, they give out free oral supplements. The big companies, they buy up all the TV monitoring spaces where the patients only see Ensure, only see Boost, or only see advertisements like that, where we don't sell our product outside of our website or in the cancer center. So we're part of the treatment protocol.
Yeah, awesome.
We've worked very hard to be part of community oncology, not just sell a product to cancer patients.
Right.
So when a patient goes into the cancer centers now, we have one-bite samples that are available in infusion rooms, and then the products available for purchase at their pharmacy. So they can get everything they need for their treatment. They get their treatment, they pick up their antiemetic, they pick up one of our OncoBites tri-pack, and they're set for the next 3 days, which is typically the worst part for that.
After treatment,
so I know I went a long way with that,
okay.
but there's a lot of how we started out, how it transpired into they're noticing that there was no products for patients that were made specifically for the patients.
Yeah.
And one of the things I want to say real quick, because this is very important, we did not create a product and then take it to the cancer centers. My partner, the co-founder in OncoBites, is a practicing medical oncologist. We work directly with his patients to create what they wanted. Nice. So that's why you see our levels of protein being lower in one product, a little higher in the other. One has 8% fresh ginger, the other doesn't. It has more chamomile in it.
So why ginger?
For the nausea, help treat the nausea for patients that are undergoing it.
Yeah.
And that was our original product because my daughter was dealing with nausea so badly.
Okay.
So I wanted to create something. When I first met Sherry, And it was weird how, which I can tell that story too, and I will in a minute.
Yeah.
But I told her what my daughter was dealing with, and she said, "Well, we got to have ginger in it, you know."
Mm-hmm.
So that's how our first flavor, the Onco Bites Ginger Honey Date, which is what we call our spice flavor, which we'll talk about the taste sensitivities, how it all came about, and then we have our peanut butter chocolate chip flavor out now.
It was such a great journey to actually work with the doctor and create this product, because it really became a team effort, right? He had to really communicate with me as the product development person about what the patients were going through. And then I brought in my knowledge, what I knew about, you know, ingredients and real food products, and knowledges around herbs and spices and things that can support the symptoms. And then when the first version of the product came out and he had a chance to taste it, there was a really deep conversation about the levels of ginger, because it was strong, it was spicy.
Ginger's strong, yeah.
So there was a lot of heat to it, and there was concern, well, you know, what if patients don't like it? And you know, when you create any kind of a food product, someone's always not going to like it, first of all, so you have to kind of be careful around that. But we really went back and forth on the idea of enough ginger in this product to be effective. Right? Like ginger ale these days doesn't even have real ginger in it. It's all natural flavor. So the ability of ginger to do
not all
its
natural,
thing.
By the way.
Right. It's not natural is such a crazy word in that ingredient.
It's so sad.
But you know, the conversation that we had back and forth around that heat level, like we ultimately decided to keep it, and that's where the taste sensitivity that I love about our product is on there, because when you look at that sensitivity, if you know you're sensitive to highly spicy things when you're going through chemotherapy, you know, that might be not the choice for that particular level of what you're experiencing symptom-wise. But then you have the other options. But if you're nauseous and you need something to just kind of keep your medication down, it's perfect for that.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, you know, just to talk about how we've built on that initial product. Initially, we were using fresh ginger cubes, and we would, you know, grind them down to where we felt a great consistency. But then we would get feedback from the patients that they might have what they would call a hot bite, where one bite may have a larger piece of ginger. We took that input from those patients, and now we use ginger paste, which is much more still fresh ginger, it's just smoother, it's much more consistent. We've had no feedback on any of those hot bites anymore. It's all been so. Going back to us listening to the patient, making sure that we take all the feedback, and we try to make our product better through this input. So we welcome good, bad, indifferent. You know,
hear it.
Awesome.
And I do my best as, you know, the leader, or I call myself the leader.
You are
the leader to listen to all of that and incorporate the changes we need to make our product better.
Very cool.
So we're always listening.
I love it. I love it. So this is good stuff. You know, there are things about, you know, cancer treatment that probably we don't all know going in. I mean, a lot of this I didn't know. I was grateful that, well, I don't know, that's a double-edged sword. I was going to say grateful that I didn't have, my mom didn't have to go through it. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But, you know, going through a treatment like that changes a lot of things, and it changes your taste buds, and it changes, you know, can make you not want to eat. And if your taste buds aren't functioning, I mean, think COVID, right? A lot of people lost their taste and their smell, and people would lose weight because they didn't want to eat, because you don't want to eat if you can't taste it or smell it. So it takes your appetite away, essentially, right? Plus then you have the chemotherapy, which is going to take your appetite away. So it's a double whammy. And so, you know, so you started with the ginger, and then what other flavors did you bring in to kind of help with that palatability and help people want to eat and want to taste? And do you know how the taste buds change? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, you know, part of the development of the product is definitely, like I said, you know, getting feedback from our CMO and getting information directly from the patients and what they're going through. And a lot of what he taught me is different chemotherapy treatments affect patients differently.
Absolutely.
And there's one that's a platinum-based chemotherapy that we
platinum, like the mineral or the metal.
Yeah.
The metal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway.
So that particular treatment is one that really makes salt an offensive flavor. It makes things taste more metallic on their mouth.
Like a biting on a penny.
Mhm.
Your patients
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to me, just through my experience with flavor and how I always get super curious about how do our taste buds affect us and how is this changing what's happening in our body. If you think about, if you literally have platinum running through your veins, so you have this high level of metal in your body, that alone is going to, you can imagine how your body's going to respond to that, because if all of a sudden there's these high levels of minerals in your body and then you're taking in food, obviously we want good minerals to support us nutritionally, but if you're tasting something that, like salt, would have a high level of minerals in it,
Mhm.
it's going to exaggerate that because your body's already so concentrated in that, right?
Right.
So salt is something that we keep at a really low level, especially for those, the people that are going through treatments that affect their taste buds in that way. So we did had a lot of conversations around flavor, and because we started with that first product, really honed in on nausea and that being a symptom, knowing that spice level was going to be high, we knew that our next, and the CMO was completely adamant that, and rightfully so, that the next product needed to be a comfort food.
Okay.
It needed to be something that was going to continue to provide the nutrients, that was going to continue to put the easy to swallow, soft bites into a flavor that would be familiar to people.
Mhm.
So, they might not really want that edge and that spice level, but they want comfort food. So
Mhm.
that's where we went to the
peanut
butter
butter
chocolate chip became
Okay.
our second one.
Okay.
Like literally, he loves Reese's Cups. So he
Who
would
doesn't?
say, and then when you look it up, Reese's Cups, Reese's one of the number one selling chocolate treats in the world. So what better to mimic our product behind, or to create something that everyone likes? Because and we didn't find this out till later on as we got more into working with the patients and the dietitians and other clinics across the country, that you got your spicy, sweet, and tart is really what these patients are dealing with. And if they like spicy, they like all spicy stuff, so we couldn't just have a product for the people who like spicy. And then we also, I mentioned about the protein level earlier. When we initially started with the ginger honey date product, we kept adding protein to it and then letting the patients taste it, because we wanted to make sure that it was easy for the patient to eat, and that it would, like if a patient has, head and neck cancer, they're going through radiation, or like the co-founder, our CMO, his dad has mouth and throat cancer, so he's had part of his mandible removed, and he was one of the first patients that Dr. McAllister actually tried this product on, was his dad, to make sure that the ginger didn't bother his mouth or irritate his but as we continued to add the protein, it got to where the patients couldn't chew it.
So harder
Got
to
dry.
Got dry,
yeah.
got very, they said it would grow in their mouth. They said it was no different eating a protein bar. So what we did is we backed the protein back out of the product to where the patient said, this is what we like, this is where we like it. Because that product wasn't all about delivering protein, it was delivering the ingredients and the spice blend and the ginger for the nausea. So that was more of a nausea treatment in a spice product.
Yeah.
With the peanut butter chocolate chip, it doesn't have ginger in it, but we increased the chamomile, and it's got 440 calories, 12 grams of protein. So much higher protein content, and the increased chamomile is more for the relaxation and just the anti-anxiety. Something, if you want to treat before you go to bed, something sweet, or you're just craving your favorite chocolate sweet treat, it's a great one for that. And you get all the benefits of the things that we've put into, our product as a whole.
Right. And whole food ingredients, right?
All whole
important
food.
to point out that we're not recreating the Reese's peanut butter cup the way the Reese's peanut butter cup is being created, but mimicking the flavors, right? Recreating texture, recreating things that are going to really give you that flavor without the equal levels of
like it's raisin based. The peanut butter chocolate chips raisin based. Our ginger honey date is date based, obviously. So.
And so, it's just for clarification too, for those of you who don't know, this is for the first 3 days after treatment. I don't know if we said that. We might have said that. I know I keep reading and talking, and but this isn't intended for an entire. This isn't intended to be lived on forever.
Right. It's not a meal replacement.
Right. This is for keeping calories up, getting people to eat when maybe they don't want to eat, and then being therapeutic.
Right.
At the same time.
No, a patient can 100% continue these if they like them. They're great, just nutritional. Like myself, I ate them. My son, who was playing football, he's trying to add weight. He would eat them, those kind of things, because they're great treats for that type thing. But, there's not, what we find and what we have found is that a lot of patients that go to the cancer center, they see the physician, they see their nurse, they go through treatment, they really have no one talk to them about how to eat these next 3 days, or how they're going to feel, or they get the same, some sort of something that somebody's come up with. What we've tried to do is create a product that goes hand in hand with the treatment protocol that the patient's going to get at the cancer center. So when they leave there, they know that they don't have to worry about going home and trying to find something to eat, or a caregiver cooking for them, or something like that. We want to get them through those days. And we tried to create a product, like I said, that was not intimidating when you looked at it, that would literally melt in your mouth because of the high fat content, that a patient could just take their antiemetic, rest, eat their Onco bite, and not be so depleted when they start feeling better that they don't want to eat then either. So it's just kind of a bridge, but then the patient can stay on them too. We're just trying to really hone in on where we think this product can help the patients the most.
Sure.
And we've had such great stories, and you can share this a little bit more specifically, Butch, but great stories about people that have also taken in the ginger date spice one is the one that I'm thinking of. They've tried that in those first 3 days when it was really hard, and then their appetite was then they were able to have an appetite to eat more, meal type things or the stronger protein. So just getting to give them that little bit of a boost to get them over the hump, right? Those tough days, so that they can then have an appetite and bring in, more of a, a square meal or whatever.
Just having something on your stomach, I know one of Dr. McAllister has had several of his patients come back and say, doctor, the Onco bites don't necessarily fill me up, but I can eat an Onco bite, and a couple hours later I ate a hamburger. I hadn't had a hamburger in a month. So just having something that sits on their stomach,
ready to go, and it gets the juices flowing.
And one of the other things that we've had come back, just because we're in some this is how I know we've got a great product. I mean, we're in the pharmacies at Texas Oncology, which is one of the largest, that is the largest community oncology practice in probably the world, I know, in the U.S. And the patients there benefit. I mean, they're coming back, they're telling other people about it. And one of the things that we've had come back is that patients love having the Onco bites on hand, because it's a great one bite of food before they take their medicine. It helps them keep their medicine down, whether they're using it to help support their treatment, those days after treatment or not, just having the Onco bites to be able to have a quick bite to eat before they take their medicine. So we've had and that was something we didn't even know when we originally started. That's just feedback that's coming from the patients on another way that Onco bites is helping them. And then the cancer centers love having this product on board there, because then they're in control of what goes out with the patient. They don't have to worry about the patient going to CVS and buying Ensure or not being able to drink it. They can say, eat these 3 bites a day. At least I know you've had 440 calories every day, or you've had 330 calories every day. The doctor has a way of, or the nurse has a way of gauging what kind of nutrition they've typically had. So there's a lot of things to it. Yeah,
and I think this is a perfect time to talk about just that. I want to talk, so my experience, this was early on when my husband's dad was sick. So he started going through chemo. He had prostate cancer. Obviously metastatic. And so going through chemo, he spoke with, this was at one of the big hospitals, spoke with their dietitian who told him told my husband's mom go to their local pharmacy or the one in the hospital and go get their protein and give it to him. And so, she knew better. She also has passed, but she knew better. She's very healthy, and she looked at the ingredients. She's like, Nikki, what do I do about this? I bought it because they told me to, and people are so afraid not to do what the doctors tell them to do. And she looked at the ingredients. She's like, do I do this? I'm like, hell no. Why would you do this? You know better. And not everybody does, right? But she did. But there's that fear of not doing the right thing for the patient, for yourself, for your family members, whatever it is, the caretakers. And because they tell you, you have to keep weight on and you have to do this. So you need to eat anything that you can get your hands on in order to keep your weight up and keep eating, which is BS. It makes me angry. I will go off. It just makes me so mad because you have to keep your this is a I think I said this in the video, the promo video, but this is chemo is intentionally damaging the immune system. And if you're not doing things that are going to help build and strengthen your immune system to help to mitigate that damage, this is a big problem. Sugar, a bunch of sugar, is not going to help to mitigate damage. A bunch of inflammatory fats, a bunch of trashy food that's full of chemicals that's actually not food is not going to benefit the immune system, and in the long term is not going to benefit you. Which leads me to Ensure. And and Boost. I didn't even look at the boosting ingredients. I just figure they're all the same damn thing. So I have to tell the story because it's an interesting story for me. I think it is. But I have my master's in science, and I actually early on in my career I did a lot in the medical world. So I sold surgical devices and I sold pharmaceuticals.
Very cool.
And surgical devices.
You learn a lot. You learn
I
a lot,
learned a ton.
right?
I don't necessarily regret it. But when I went back to school, I went back to school for nutrition, and as soon as I finished, somebody got hold of my resume showing that I'm now a nutritionist, and that I had pharma experience. So she didn't tell me what the product was, but she's like, there's this company and they're trying to expand their nutrition department and they want to bring on people to help sell into the oncology department. I was like, okay, I'll look at it. Let's see what it is. And so, she told me, I think it was the next meeting. She's like, okay, so I'll tell you what it is. It's Ensure. I went, okay, let me think on this. I hadn't looked at the ingredients. I had a pretty good idea that it was trash. But, I got off the phone, looked at the ingredients, and, as as a lot of people know, you get a car, you get a big check, you get all of the things that go along with selling into any kind of medical center, especially oncology.
Absolutely.
I mean, so I just went, no.
That's it.
Like, no,
don't ever call me
that I'm going to do this. And I'll tell you what I almost did, but I kind of didn't have the balls, I guess. Which is, I feel bad. I should have done it, but I almost took the interview anyway, just so I could ask the question, what are you doing and what are you thinking?
What are you thinking?
How is this that you can actually, with a clear conscience, sell trash, negatively impacting, damaging food to people who are dying, who are trying not to die, and going, this is going to help you.
Right.
What is that? And what data are they showing that actually says this is beneficial? So, sorry, so the ingredients, I know you have them as well because they're on your website. So look at the website or just look at Ensure ingredients. And so let's talk about the ingredients of Ensure. Second ingredient, sugar. Third ingredient, corn syrup, GMO, and sugar. Fourth ingredient, 1, 2, 3, 4. Corn maltodextrin, GMO, and a problem in most cases. Milk protein. I work with a lot with sick people, autoimmune conditions, some cancer. It's a rare day that I'm going to tell anybody to eat dairy when they're fighting a significant disease. And it's just not good. Next one, soy oil. The most inflammatory oil besides canola, and there's probably canola, yeah, and there's canola oil too.
Of course there is.
Two of the most inflammatory oils on the face of the earth, unless maybe you're eating motor oil, right? And then there's corn oil again. So all three of those are genetically modified. There's like 95% of the products that are canola, corn, and soy are genetically modified. And then their protein is soy protein, again, genetically modified. And then they have artificial flavors. MSG.
Oh, but natural flavors too.
Oh, of course, yes, they do have
Gotta
natural
have that in
flavors.
there. Where's it on the list at the very end?
Well, the same thing,
It's
right?
the same thing
So
as an artificial flavor.
it is. It's the same thing. And what happens, I have to do a little nerd time here a second because I think it's important, especially when somebody who is chronically ill. Natural and artificial flavors tend to be monosodium glutamate. So this is not a problem for everybody. I would say anybody who's sick should probably stay away from it, but there are genetic mutations that don't allow for glutamate to go down the proper pathway. So it's an excitatory amino acid. And so if you are taking in this, even if it's regular glutamine, it could for some people be a problem, but this glutamate, you're taking it in, and some people react to it, and they do. It's like they get it not excited in a good way, but it's kind of anxious, and anyway, I can't talk now. I'm all worked up.
Fired up.
Slow down. Okay, so glutamate gets elevated, and if they don't have the ability, if their pathways are not working properly, in order for it to be converted into GABA, which is calming, then it stays elevated. It stays as glutamate. It stays excitatory, and it's a huge problem. It's not good for anybody, but especially people who have that, it's called a SNP. Anyway, beyond that, how they get away, I mean, beyond just, ensure, but how they get away with calling, natural and artificial or natural flavors good is a huge problem. Then they add in vitamins and minerals, which I would tell you, I believe would probably be synthetic. I'm almost sure that they're synthetic, and I don't even have what's listed here, but anytime I see B vitamins in anything that's mainstream, it's always trash.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything you want to add?
Our job is done here. There's nothing.
Well,
Maybe compare the ingredients. There's really nothing else.
absolutely, and that's one thing. I've talked a lot about our product being in the cancer centers and how we've done these things.
Yeah.
Very, very. I think I might have even said this earlier in the interview about when we originally started. We couldn't believe that there wasn't a product that was really being endorsed and taking in by the cancer centers. Why there wasn't already something being pushed outside of Insuraboost.
Yeah.
I figured it out now because none of these physicians or anybody's going to put their name behind selling that actual product through their pharmacies. So a little credibility to what we've done. Not only was this product created under the supervision of a practicing medical oncologist who's got 25 years in the business, our chef here, who's obviously an expert chef and truly not only talks about these spices and how they help the body and how they can help heal you, but she lives that life. So she believes everything in it, and that's why I said she had to be our person when we did that. But also, we've over this time we've been able to assimilate a group of oncology dietitians from other cancer centers throughout the country that sit on our board, and they approve our product. So it's being approved or checked off or signed off by all of the people who are going to look at our ingredients, look at how we're positioning the product, looking at how we could help these patients, and then we're putting the business model in place, which is now why you see some of these large cancer centers actually utilizing our product. It's part of the protocol. It's written in. I mean, it's part of the protocol. So that's our goal. So we're not. That's why we haven't went out and got on Amazon, because we're not that kind of product.
Yeah.
We are built
You're therapeutic.
to support community oncology, because I've always worked with community oncology. Those are my people, and I'm a big believer in community oncology staying independent and being able to operate outside of the hospital and being able to, because I feel like the care is better. And I want to support that. So instead of having, Ensure giving out samples, and then they take the samples from your cancer center and then go buy the product at Walmart or CVS or something, we actually put the product and discounts in place for the cancer center, so those dollars go back to the cancer center, and they can disseminate it however they like. They can take it, they can give free samples, or they can provide rides, or they can help with copay assistance with those dollars.
Okay.
So we support not only the patients, but we've built a model that helps the cancer centers stay afloat. You know, some of these cancer centers that don't have a dietitian, you can literally potentially bring a dietitian on with just what you're getting back from helping us put Onco bites in the patient's hands. So we've done a lot to try to not only have a great product, but a product that works great in the system.
For the whole system.
For the whole system,
Yeah.
right. And that's taken a lot of figuring out, because once when we first came out this, we thought the doctors was just gonna, you know, we was gonna be filling orders as fast as we could. And we got home, phone didn't ring. It's like, okay, that's a problem. Then we thought we gotta go to the dietitians, and then the dietitians, phone didn't ring. Maybe a couple times here or there. And then what we found out was the dietitians don't see the patients every time they come in. So now that we've morphed and we have our individual one bite samples now, they are available in the infusion rooms now. So the infusion nurses are the ones seeing the patients every time. They're able to coach the patient on, you know, here's a bite, a sample of each of our flavors that we have. Here's a patient information pamphlet. We have this product available in the pharmacy for purchase if it helps you or you like it. And that's how we've been able to build the model to where we know that's proof of concept now. It works.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a quickie break because I need to make sure that we talk about our amazing sponsor. Cellcore Biosciences are some of the most innovative supplements on the market. They are geared toward mitochondrial health, cellular health, and I'm going to say it because I say it every time and you're going to hate it, getting rid of worms.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It is terrible, and it's a problem. It's a problem with a lot of people who are dealing with chronic disease and they don't know what the cause is, right? So what I do and what the goal is of anybody who's in my world is looking for the root cause. If it's cancer, if it's autoimmune conditions, if it's possible to dig up the cause. Is it metals? Is it mold? Is it environmental toxicants? I have a client who I just started seeing. We got his test results back. His mold is high, his metals are high, his glyphosate, you'll know what glyphosate is? Glyphosate's Roundup, through the roof.
Wow.
Yeah. And so this is why it's important to understand what it takes to support the body, get to the foundation of what is going on, and support the mitochondria, support the cells, eliminate the microbes, detoxify any of the metals. The microbes hold on to the metals, they hold on to the molds, they hold on to things like Lyme disease, and they create huge burdens on the body. And so we take the Cellcore products and allow the body to properly, it first works on the lymphatic system, so it opens up drainage pathways, works on the elimination of microbes, and then the elimination of all of these nasty environmental toxicants and metals and so forth. So anyway, you can only get it through practitioners. Of course, you can get it through me, but it's not something that I would ever just say, yeah, just go take it, because they are strong and they're amazing, but you certainly have to be careful and go about it very methodically and in a very in a manner that is going to allow the body to function properly and decrease symptoms as much as possible. You do it wrong, symptoms go through the roof, and it's not fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's good stuff. They are innovative in their delivery system, so nothing like it really on the market. I appreciate them for who they are, what they're doing there on the side of the patients, always, patients and the clients, and of course the practitioners who use the product. So thank you to Cellcore, and thanks to y'all.
Ooh,
this is good stuff.
We sure appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was great.
No, we're still going. We've still we've still got 10 minutes.
No, let's do it then. Let's make it happen.
Okay, so let's talk about, what do we want to talk about? We've talked about so much already. What do you want to hit on? Okay, so I have on here, like, we sort of hit this already, but the real food versus chemical. I think we kind of hit that. Inflammatory, versus the inflammatory foods, which we ensure certainly inflammatory versus anti-inflammatory, making sure that anybody who has any kind of chronic condition should be on an anti-inflammatory diet, period. Get rid of gluten, get rid of dairy. It's got to be out of the diet forever. There's just no gray to some things. Lots of things you can find some gray area. Some things there's no gray. So what else should we talk about that's amazing?
I think to your point on the anti-inflammatory part is, Butch and I actually met because I had created spice blends. And so I was working with my own, as an entrepreneur, creating spice blends through my own health journey of healing with food, seeing the power of the supplements, in here. Why aren't we just tasting these things? Why aren't we just eating more of these things? So a lot of what we do is we have, our spice blend is a big part of our product, and turmeric is part of our spice blend. So, there are some anti-inflammatory consistencies that you're always going to see on our product. So that's a really important part of, myself being culinary trained and having this, my own journey of healing through food. That's why Butch and I, just sync up in this so strongly, because real food is so important. And spices are really, you can walk through the aisles of Natural Grocer, Whole Foods, anywhere, and see an entire aisle of food in capsules. Spices in capsules.
I know, it makes me crazy. I'm like, just put it on your food.
Yeah, like there's cinnamon capsules and ginger capsules and garlic capsules and oregano capsules and rosemary capsules. And you're like, well,
paying so much for it.
You're paying so much for it. You're not tasting it, which my whole thing is like, tasting these things is really important. It's a pathway of communication between your body. Like, the only thing you're born with to detect nutrition is your sense of taste, right? So to experience these things, I believe, creates a whole level of communication between your taste buds and what's happening in your body. So, keeping those spices in our product it'll always be a part of it, because
absolutely, it was built around, not only the real dense, high quality nutrition that we talked about, but this spice blend, we're working on our patent. It's patent pending, so it's definitely something different. And it's sometimes someone will say something to me about the price of our product, or compared to what else is out there, ours is a little more expensive.
Well, it's actually food.
Yeah, and we take all of these things that Sherry is saying, which typically, or they're known within the cancer world. A lot of these patients take these supplements separately, so they got 10 different bottles of supplements, and they're trying to take that and eat. We've put all of that into one bite, into one spice blend that allows those patients to get all of that while they get their nutrition in a, like I said, a very non-threatening, small, easy to eat bite. I mean, it'll literally melt in your mouth. I mean, it's good. It's actually a great product. I know that's self-serving, but it's a great product.
Well, you should be self-serving. I mean, because it is. Again, it goes back to the fact that it's food. The interesting things, though, and again, I can't help but nerd out a little bit because it's fun, for one, but, things like, if you're taking turmeric as a capsule, one, just put it in your food, but for two, in order for it to be absorbed and utilized, it has to be put with fat, a phospholipid.
Right.
And so, if you're just taking a turmeric capsule, you're wasting your money, truly. Just put it on your food. But if you say golden milk, right? People can do golden milk. It's the coconut milk. Add some pepper, the piperine that allows.
There's pepper
and there's
in ours
pepper.
as well,
So that's the beauty is, what you're doing. But about food is when you eat things together, they are more absorbable together.
Absolutely.
And we talk a lot about. I'm maybe going off just a little bit, but people do smoothies all the time. Smoothies, you're not chewing your food. Supplements, you're not chewing your food. If you have these herbs, you're not chewing. This is what helps the smell and the taste and the chewing is what helps to release digestive enzymes.
I'm all about the flavor.
Well, yeah.
And
so if you're just taking it, are you actually putting out the digestive enzymes necessary in order to break down and utilize the nutrients that are in even the smoothie, but the supplements? And then if you go a step further than that and you're already sick and you're dealing with immune dysfunction and gut dysfunction, because certainly cancer and autoimmune conditions are gut dysfunction, then add chemo on top of that, there's massive gut dysfunction. You've got to be able to break down and absorb your nutrients. Again, I'm going to go off again, but
That's great. I mean, it's great. I love listening to you because I mean, there's other people out there that believe and really understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, ours is 70% high, fat. So that's what Dr.
Which is
Cindy
keto.
this melts in your mouth. That's one of the reasons for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great to hear, this kind of stuff. It's very,
We're just
because
sitting
I
here
get in my little world where I'm just,
I know,
and it's good to be able to get out and really talk about it. And it really, a lot of the things that, I've got so many things coming back to me today just because of having this conversation. It's just great. I mean,
Cool.
I'm super excited about it.
Good. Me too. We have 7 minutes-ish left. I want to make sure that if there's anything that you need to say, want to add on top of this, that you say it, but also then make sure that we know where to find you. For one, Sherry is going to be back with us talking about her company, the Flavor Remedy, in a couple of weeks, in a month? Okay,
a couple of weeks.
Okay, cool. So we'll be back and talk about all of that stuff too. I would love to have both of you back again because I think that this is important stuff to talk about. I think there are probably things that maybe we didn't hit on that we could dig into. But let's make sure that we get the stuff in that you need to, people know where to find you and all the things.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing I'd want to say today is that, we really worked hard. We're a small startup company. We've worked tremendously hard. I mean, I have a team that I just couldn't tell you how thankful I am for. That's made all of this possible. They've done, they worked, endless hours for free. I mean, we've all put a lot into bringing this product full circle because we believe in how much it can actually help patients. So next time you're in your cancer center, ask your infusion nurse if they have the 1-bite samples available. If they don't, they can go to oncobites.com, send me a message, I'll take care of that. And then you can also purchase your product at oncobites.com. Or what we really need now is the patients to go and ask their doctors, ask their providers, ask their nurses, or if the nurse doesn't know about it, educate them on it. Say this is a new product that's out. And then the last thing I'll say is we really are trying to support those patients on days 2, 3, and 4. So we have our Oncobites Tri-Pack, which think about like a Z-Pack. We put it all in one thing for you. You pick that up at your pharmacy or off of our website, and you purchase 2 days, and you get the 3rd day for free.
Oh.
So it cuts the cost back, 35%.
Sure.
And then we offer free shipping too. So, but the biggest thing is making sure that we spread this word and we tell the person in the infusion chair next to me if you see them having, discussing how bad they're dealing with nausea. Let them know about our product. That's what we need now is word of mouth. And we'll continue. You'll have my commitment that we're going to continue to bring you the best that we can do.
Yeah, awesome.
That we can muster.
So something that we do, once the show is finished, is we'll put all of your links, your information. If there's I know you've got a couple blogs on the website. We can link a blog. We can, put all of that stuff in like the comments, and I put all my stuff in there. So people who see the show and then get the comments have easy access to just, okay, I can click here, I can click here. So if there's anything specific that you want to send me to link besides the website and that kind of thing, then be sure to send it to me, and we'll get all that put in.
That's a great point because we have Spanish. Our literature, we have our trifold in Spanish now because working with Texas Oncology, they have so many patients that, need that kind of content. So we have that. I'll make sure you get that as well.
Cool. Texas is home for me.
Oh, is it really?
I'm heading to Austin right after
That's the last thing I was going to say. Is that obviously you probably can't tell, but I'm from Alabama. I moved here to grow this, so I just wanted to say Roll Tide real quick.
Roll Tide. I know. I asked you. I was like, "Are you?" Because I asked my husband. I said, "Okay, Alabama, are they going to be in the basketball playoffs?" He's a KU grad.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, are you ready for March Madness? I didn't know
they were pretty good this year,
were
but I don't know where they ended up. I haven't had a chance to check, but they actually had a great basketball.
Well, that's
team
what my husband said. He was like, they're all football. Being from
and
Texas,
softball.
we're all
We
football too.
won the national championship in softball this year.
Nice.
I think too,
That's amazing.
So it's pretty big, yeah.
Cool. Very
I have a son there that he's a freshman at Alabama, so I'm
Nice.
just making a call out to him.
Yeah, you got to.
Nice.
You got to. I get it.
It's all good.
All right. Anything else real quick before I do my own thing?
Once again, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you,
you.
thank you,
It's really
thank
been
you.
great.
This has been
I feel like we just have to
fantastic.
sit back and
A little nervous coming in, but
No,
I'm okay now.
nothing to be nervous about. Yeah, cool.
It's all
All
good.
right. Well, we're super grateful. I hope that you, when you see this, if you know people who need to see this, please pass this on to them. The links are everywhere. Obviously, the Facebook page, Taste Life Nutrition Facebook page, it's on Taste Life Nutrition. It's on, which is the website. It's on YouTube. It's the Taste Life Nutrition podcast. You'll be able to find it soon, hopefully, on there. I have to get you all the stuff. That's what takes time sometimes. But you'll find it anywhere. But, you know, we will link all of the information for you. People need to know this stuff. Need to know that what they're told about Ensure is not okay, and it's not good, or Boost, or any of those chemical. All you got to do is look at the ingredients, and most of you can look and say, oh, that's probably not good. So just be sure to share it. Let's get the word out about really good cancer treatment nutrition. And then, so you can go to my website, tastelifenutrition.com. You can fill out a free analysis, or it's a free assessment on there. It comes straight to me, and then I'll reach out to you personally. We can chat about anything that you might need. If you need more support or less support, or even if I need to refer you to someone, happy to do that. I'm here just to be a resource to you. You can find me, Taste Life Nutrition, everywhere, pretty much. So that's what you got to look for. I forgot who I have on next week. I always forget who I have on next week. But instead of every other week, we are now weekly. So super excited about that. We have amazing guests who are joining us over, well, every time we have a show, there's amazing guests. So join us next week, 10 a.m. Mountain Time on Thursday. And we'll see you. Thanks again to KUHS.com, where we're always streaming live. We'll see you later.
thank you.